Hey friends, welcome to Yellow Yoga. I'm Kelly and I'll be your guide. Today's practice is inspired by the element of water. The water element is associated with emotions, passion, pleasure, creativity, fluidity, and sexuality. So when the water element is balanced, you connect easily to others, feel content and calm, express creativity more freely, and most importantly, you let things go, let things flow. What will be, will be. On the same note, today's practice is really focused on the courage to surrender. Can you soften? Can you forget your resistance so that you can go a little bit deeper? As you might have guessed by now, we're definitely going to get into some hip openers today, but I also want to make sure that we add in a little strength and heat, and that we encourage some creativity to come to us during the practice. It's going to be juicy and intense in the best way. So roll out your mat, and I'll see you there. We'll start our practice today in mountain pose. So go ahead and make your way to the front of your mat, standing tall and straight. Hands are at your sides. I'm going to encourage you to take a more narrow stance today, with the feet maybe an inch or two apart. Start to settle into the practice. Connect to your breath. On an inhale, reach your hands forward and up to the sky, hands touch in prayer, gaze up. And exhale, hinge at the hips, take it all the way down to the mat, forward fold. And we'll hang out here in forward fold for a couple of breaths, keeping the knees slightly bent. Go ahead and work in some soft movement here, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, maybe swaying side to side. And then for your next couple breaths, see if you can lengthen and expand a bit on your inhale. Think about your halfway lift, your flat back. And then see if you can soften and surrender a bit more on each exhale to go deeper and deeper into the stretch. From here, straighten your left leg. Keep your right leg bent, or maybe bend it slightly more as you drop your right fingertips to the earth in between your feet. Maybe in between your toes is a good spot. Now send your left arm all the way up to the sky to make a straight line from your left fingertips in the sky all the way down to your right fingertips on the earth. Gaze up toward your left hand and breathe. If you'd like, you can push your outer right arm slightly against your inner right leg. This might help give you a bit more stability and can also help you twist a little bit deeper here. Take one final inhale here, and exhale, release the left fingertips down to the earth, and on your inhale, switch sides. Right leg straightens, left leg bends, left fingertips come to the earth, right fingertips reach for the sky. All right, all together, one final inhale here, big breath in. And exhale, release the right fingertips to the earth, all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, surrender, forward fold. And now very, very slowly, in a couple of breaths, roll all the way up to standing, one vertebra at a time. From here, take one big step back on your mat with your right foot. Pivot both feet toward the right side of your mat so your whole body is facing the right side of your room or porch or beach or wherever you are. Now spread your arms wide at your sides in a big T shape. Your feet should be right about below your hands. Toes facing the right side of the room or the right edge of the mat. Feet parallel to each other. So go ahead and adjust the feet if you need to. And let's move together now. Take one big inhale, sweep the hands out to your sides and up overhead. Hands touch in prayer. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Hands come all the way down to the earth. Wide-legged forward folds. And breathe. Once again, find just a bit of movement here. Swaying a bit, maybe bending the knees and swaying one way and then the other. With the hands on the earth, we're going to slowly move into a side lunge position. Bend your right knee, sink the hips back. Right knee is over right ankle here, or more so just behind the right big toe. Left leg is straight. Fingertips are on the earth for just a bit of support and balance. Really push into the knife edge of your left foot here. Let's use our fingertips to slowly walk us to the other side now. Left knee bends, right leg straightens, and breathe. Once again, we'll use our fingertips to walk us back to the right side, except this time we'll continue our journey and move into low lunge at the back of our mat. Keep your hips low as you move. Once you get to the back of the mat, pivot both feet toward the back of the room. Lift the left heel, frame the right foot with the hands, and breathe. This is a good time to point out that if you get lost at any point along the way, then that is perfectly perfect. This practice is all about letting go, letting it roll off your back, having fun, being free. So if you're lost, have fun making stuff up. Okay, we're gonna come out of this. So from here, let's pivot the feet toward the left, we'll come back to our side lunge on the right side, and we'll walk our hands all the way to the other side. We're moving to the left now toward the front of our mat. And once again, we'll pivot here for low lunge with the left knee bent and the right leg straight. Chest is facing the front of the room. And breathe. Now from here, we're going to use our breath to move across the mat from one low lunge position at the front of our mat to the other low lunge position at the back of our mat. So when we're in low lunge, we're on an inhale, and as we're moving across our mat, we're exhaling until on the other side we can inhale again in that low lunge, and exhale, walk all the way to the other side into the other lunge. So go ahead and practice that on your own, and I'll give you just about a minute to move through that exercise. Once again, if at any point you're lost, you can just find what feels good for you in that moment, and we'll meet together in a wide-legged forward fold. Enjoy your time. Wherever you are, I hope you enjoyed some free-flowing movement and energy through the hips. It's time to slowly make our way into wide-legged forward fold, once again facing the right side of your mat. Move slowly, move mindfully. Now, from wide-legged forward fold, heel toe the feet together and lower down to your hands and knees with your hands and feet off the mat, but your knees importantly on the mat, because we're going to move into frog pose here in just a second. Before we do, I just want to say this is about to be our first real water test of the practice. Can we surrender? We've warmed up and prepared ourselves for this moment for about 10 good minutes. It's time to trust, soften, release, surrender. So from this tabletop position, spread the knees as wide as you can. Create 90-degree angles with your thighs and shin bones, and flex the feet to protect your ankles. You're creating the image of a frog right now with your body. Knees are wide, creating 90-degree angles with your thigh and shins, flexing the feet to protect your ankles. If in creating those 90-degree angles you feel any kind of pinching, go a little bit easier on yourself. Bring your knees a little bit closer. That said, I'm not sure anyone feels completely comfortable in this pose ever right out the gate, so don't expect full comfort yet. That's something that we're going to work toward. Additionally, if the knees are uncomfortable because the floor feels too hard, you can take a second to fold your mat in half horizontally to provide a bit of extra padding under the knees. Now, when you've found a good foundation, slowly walk your arms forward. Make your way down to your elbows. We're going to hold frog pose here for 2 minutes. With each inhalation, expanding, sending breath to the hips. With each exhalation, consciously softening the muscles holding tension, melting the hips closer to the floor. Maybe while you're here, you do a bit of a body scan exercise, scanning the body, identifying areas of tension, inhaling, and on your exhale, releasing and melting that tension away. The earth is beneath you. Your body is strong. It's time to surrender, melt. It's perfectly normal if emotions arise here in this stretch as well. If any strong feelings come up, let them. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to laugh, laugh. Free yourself of all resistance. You have about 45 seconds left. Stay strong, but stay soft. Let's slowly come out of frog pose. Lift up onto your hands. Lift the feet and bring the toes together to touch. And make your way to your sits bones, facing the front of the mat now. When you're there, bring the soles of your feet to the earth and your feet just about mat width apart. Maybe your feet are spilling off the mat slightly. Hands are behind you to support your weight, your balance. So here you are, facing the front of the mat now, kind of in this birthing position. From here, we're going to windshield wiper the knees from one side to the other. Bring the left knee down to the mat between the feet. Right knee spills off to the right side. Then bring the right knee down to the mat. Left knee spills off to the left side. This should feel really nice on the hips after our frog pose. Keep moving side to side. All right, let's make our way to a cross-legged seat in the middle of the mat. And we'll start to warm up our outer hips here to prepare for some more melty poses at the end of our practice. So from our cross-legged seat, first, flex the foot that's furthest away from you to protect the ankle. Now hinge forward at the hips, walk your hands forward, and rest your weight onto your forearms, and drop the head. You might also be able to rest your forehead on the backs of your hands. You'll feel a good stretch here in one outer hip specifically. Inhale to lengthen and expand. Exhale to sink deeper and soften into the pose. You want to melt and soften that hip. Surrender. Allow that softness. Let's slowly walk ourselves up and back to a cross-legged position and switch sides. The foot that was closest to you is now furthest away. Flex that foot, hinge forward at the hips, and melt down. You'll feel a good stretch in your opposite hip now. There's a very high chance that this side feels completely different from the other side. I actually love switching sides and noticing the difference. It makes me feel like there are two me's that get to live on this earth somehow, not just one. Inhale to lengthen and expand. Exhale to sink deeper and soften into the pose. We'll walk ourselves out of the deep stretch now. Uncross our legs to come to tabletop position. And then right away, send the hips high and back, lift the knees for a downward facing dog. And we'll take a second here to pedal it out. Get yourself moving again just a bit. On an inhale, ground through the left heel. Send the right leg high and up toward the sky. And exhale, plant the right foot to the right of your right hand for lizard pose. From here, I really encourage you to find the variation of lizard that works best for you. I'd say first decide if you'd like to keep your back knee lifted or if you'd rather rest it on the earth. Then there are a couple of options for you here. You can keep your right foot planted and rest your forearms to the mat. I'd say that's the most traditional lizard. Your right foot would be turned at a 45-degree angle pointed toward the front right corner of your mat. You can use some blocks if you don't quite reach the ground. If you find that you're not really coming close to the ground, you can play with moving your right foot slightly wider toward the right side and maybe a little bit more back behind your elbows. You can also try rolling slightly onto your outer right foot. Just be careful to keep that foot flexed and ankles strong to prevent injury. If that still doesn't work, you can just stay up on your hands. Sometimes it's really just our anatomy that allows some poses easily and others not easily at all. So just be patient with yourself, find what works best for you. Once you're feeling good, find some stillness. Focus on sending your breath to any tension you feel. Focus on softness, on surrender. Okay, my sweet friends, it's time to make our way into pigeon pose, which you probably knew was coming. So wherever you are, come back onto your hands. Make sure that back knee is resting on the earth, back foot is untucked, and we're going to scooch the right foot to the left side of the mat and rest the entire lower right leg, right shin, calf, on the mat beneath our torso. Keep that front foot flexed. Take a second to move around a bit. Adjust your bent leg, adjust your straight leg. Get comfy, find what feels right for you. Then whenever you're ready, take one big inhale, and on your exhale, slowly melt down toward the earth, resting your weight on your forearms. I'm going to give you 1 minute here on your forearms to soften and surrender on your own. You got this. Take loving deep breaths and know that surrender leads to creativity, passion, joy, and all the good things. How are you feeling? How are you doing? It's been 1 minute. We're not done here, so close. See if you can sink a little deeper now. Maybe resting your forehead on the backs of your hands. Let's go for 30 seconds longer here. All right, we'll slowly come out of our pigeon pose here. Push up onto the hands. Untuck the right leg from beneath you. And when you're ready, send the hips high and back to downward facing dog. Invite some soft movement here to get the blood flowing again. And we'll take it to the other side now. On an inhale, ground through the right heel, send the left leg high and back toward the sky. And exhale, plant the left foot to the left side of your left hand for lizard pose. Now, just like we did on the other side, discover and play here a bit for yourself. Find a variation that you like, that feels good for you. This side, again, will likely feel completely different from the other side. That's totally normal, so just play around a bit. And when you're happy, invite some softness and surrender. Let's slowly make our way to pigeon pose. Scooch the left foot toward the right side of the mat and rest the lower left leg on the mat beneath your torso. Keep your left foot flexed. Take a second to move around a bit, adjust your bent leg, adjust your straight leg. Find a good spot. Then whenever you're ready, Take one big inhale, and on your exhale, slowly sink the hips down toward the earth, resting your weight on your forearms. If you feel comfortable doing so, sink a little deeper now to rest the forehead on the backs of the hands. Release all tension through your body. Melt the hips closer and closer to the earth with each breath. We'll slowly come out of pigeon pose now and mindfully, carefully make our way into downward facing dog. We'll find some soft movement again here, pedal it out, get the blood flowing again, and then find stillness. Lower the knees to the earth. Make your way down onto your sits bones. Bring the feet in front of you and slowly roll all the way onto your back. Bring the soles of your feet to the ground if they're not there, mat width apart, knees shining toward the sky. And we'll windshield wiper the knees from one side to the other to break up any stagnant energy, to get the blood flowing through the hips. For the next 30 seconds, check in and think about what final postures you might need today before moving into Shavasana. Do you need maybe a bridge pose, maybe an inversion would feel good today? Maybe happy baby would be nice. Maybe this windshield wiper movement is the best thing that ever happened to you and you want to continue that. Or maybe all you want to do right now is be in Shavasana, and if that's what you want, then that's amazing too. Take 30 seconds and I'll meet you in Shavasana. Let's make our way now to our final, most sacred pose of the practice, Shavasana. Legs stretched out long, arms at our sides. And for the last time today in this practice, we'll surrender. Relax all tension in the body. Trust that the earth beneath us has our backs. Feel free to stay here for as long as you'd like, or as long as you can. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. I wish you love and light and peace from my heart to yours. Namaste.